Nintendo is no stranger to lawsuits, especially when it is in regard to their hardware being used in a way that they see as illegal. They will definitely press charges. They have had many lawsuits in the past, mainly regarding people using Nintendo IPs to make money off of their own projects. Now, something that just came out today, this story is actually talking about not just Nintendo IPs being used in separate projects, but rather Nintendo hardware itself. So specifically, I'm talking about mod chips. Now, I kind of had to look up what mod chips really are, the ins and the outs of them. Essentially, a mod chip on a console can boost its capabilities in many different ways. It all just kind of depends on the chip itself and the manufacturer of that chip, what they put on it. That will determine a lot, but essentially, it allows you to do a lot of things that, well, the creator or the developer of that console does not want its consumers to do. You can see that especially when this gets in the realm of, say, playing games that you didn't pay for. That is when Nintendo would take a big issue with it. So this lawsuit that just came out today, this all has to do with a modded chip vendor as well as a Reddit mod. Now, the modded chip vendor, his name is Ryan Daly. He operates something called modded hardware, and the name just, well, gets right to the point. Yeah, he is selling modded hardware with these mod chips on Nintendo Switches. Now, in the lawsuit that Nintendo just filed against him, they're saying that Ryan continued to sell modded chip consoles despite Nintendo previously telling him not to, and I guess he had already agreed with this and said that he would not be selling them, but obviously he turned around and kept selling them anyway. Now, it also says that Ryan sold something called MigSwitches. Now, I looked this up. This is essentially a flash game cart that you can use to load a game's ROM onto it, and to my understanding, it can be completely legal, but I'm assuming Nintendo is saying that he did this in some sort of an illegal way. Maybe having illegally downloaded ROMs on these carts and just selling them or including it in the package that he was selling, who knows? I'm assuming it has something to do with the comments I'm seeing on Reddit. People are saying how Ryan would essentially sell these Nintendo Switches preloaded with these pirated games, so I'm assuming this is what the issue was with the MigSwitches, and or maybe this is one of the many things that the mod chips did on these Nintendo Switches. Now, the second person that is the target of this lawsuit, his name is James Williams. He is also known as Archbox. On Reddit, he is specifically a moderator of the Switch Pirates subreddit. Now, essentially, it sounds like James Williams also owned and operated a sort of operation where he would sell Nintendo Switch-related illegal items. This is all alleged, of course. This is all what Nintendo is alleging. And it looks like while Ryan would mainly focus on consoles, James, or Archbox, he focused on games. He would sell a lot of pirated games. Nintendo is also alleging that James provided instructions and overall technical support for how to pirate these Nintendo games. And from what I can gather, I believe these two gentlemen are from the United States because these lawsuits, both of them, were filed at a federal court in Washington. Obviously, Nintendo is based out of Japan, so Nintendo's lawyers in America filed this in Washington. So they are seeking financial damages, as well as, obviously, injunctions against further distribution of this pirated material. So that is where we are at with these two lawsuits. They are definitely not huge lawsuits. I mean, this isn't Nintendo, I don't know, suing Apple or something crazy like that. Rather, this is Nintendo suing an alleged modded console vendor and an alleged pirated games vendor. I know Nintendo can sometimes get a little crazy with their lawsuits. Sometimes it can be a little ridiculous. But I don't know, this to me, I gotta say, I do kind of understand it. Especially if it is true that Ryan would sell these consoles with a bunch of pirated games preloaded onto it. I mean, in court, that would probably just be a slam dunk if they can prove that to be true. But either way you see it, unfortunately for these two gentlemen, they have finally caught the attention of Nintendo, and for most people that have ever been in their case, it probably won't end well.